Enough is an organization preventing child sexual abuse in school. The vast majority of school employees are dedicated, caring individuals who do a great job preparing students academically and helping them develop the talents and skills to become successful adults. However, it would be inaccurate to characterize cases of child sexual abuse in schools as rare. The U.S. Department of Education reports that 4.5 million, or 10% of K-12 students across the country, report sexual misconduct by school personnel. 3.5 million, or 6.7% of students, reported unwanted direct sexual contact with someone in their school. In a third of cases, a teacher or a coach. Substitute teachers, bus drivers, security personnel, principals, and counselors were among other employees identified for direct sexual contact. When non-touching sexual offenses were included, the percentage of students exposed to sexual misconduct rose to 10%. Examples of non-touching sexual offenses included sending illicit texts or photos, making suggestive comments, etc. Impact of child sexual abuse on learning and academic achievement. Cognitive ability, memory scores, and academic achievement of sexually abused children are often lower than their peers. 48% of students reported below average grades, 39% displayed academic difficulties, 24% of students repeated a grade, 15% of students were enrolled in remedial classes. A higher percent of students failed to graduate compared to their non-abused peers. You can prevent child sexual abuse in your school. You do not have to wait for abuse to happen. Train your staff to identify boundary-violating behaviors that, if left unaddressed, can lead to sexual misconduct and abuse. Despite these alarming numbers, 2/3 of teachers do not receive training in preventing, recognizing, or responding to child sexual abuse, either in their college coursework or as a part of their professional development. 90% of participants report they are more likely to identify boundary-violating behaviors now as a result of the Enough training program. By adopting this 1-hour online interactive course for all K-12 personnel, your school can 1. Measure knowledge gains via pre- and post-test and knowledge checks. 2. Access policy resources to support post-course learning and follow-up discussions among school personnel and administrators. 3. Measure increase in staff knowledge, the ability to identify and respond to boundary-violating behaviors, and the confidence and willingness to report suspected cases. 4. Ability to implement course within 24 hours from the time of purchase. Get started today and email Lindsay at enoughabuse.org or call 617-742-8555. And join the thousands of school employees in multiple states that have completed the Enough organization's training course. The course is made available to public and private schools based on a per-learner cost of $20 with lower rates available for larger school districts. You may access a free preview to share with your leadership team and experience the course for yourself. 98% of learners indicate they would recommend the Enough organization's training course to their colleagues. Enough Abuse is the nation's oldest citizen-based child advocacy organization with a history of successes for vulnerable children that spans over 6 decades. It works in states nationally and with international partners to ensure every child's right to a childhood free from abuse and exploitation. Innovative and outcome-driven, Enough Abuse empowers individuals and policymakers to address the pressing issues facing children through training, education, and effective legislative and policy advocacy. Enough secrets, enough shame, enough hurt, enough confusion, enough denial, enough child sexual abuse. To learn more about Enough Abuse, contact Lindsay at enoughabuse.org or dial 617-742-8555.
Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are reading Straight Talk about child sexual abuse, a prevention guide for parents. And this is from the Enough Child Sexual Abuse website. Page number 1. The average age of reported sexual abuse is between 9 and 10, which means that infants, toddlers, young children, and teens are all considered at risk. Children with physical or developmental disabilities are at significantly greater risk of sexual abuse. Children who are deaf are 2 to 3 times more likely to be sexually abused than their hearing peers. The good news is that confirmed cases have been going down as awareness has increased, yet the risks remain real. Children and teens with disabilities are 3 times more likely to be victims of sexual abuse among children without a disability. An estimated quarter to a third of sexual abuse incidents involve family members. Nearly 60% involve other people that are known and trusted by the victims and their families. Less than 10% are strangers. The takeaway here is not to live in fear of those who might sexually abuse, but rather to apply as much as possible the findings of current research about where and with whom your child may be at risk and take steps to reduce those risks. Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are reading from Enough Child Sexual Abuse, a Prevention Guide for Parents. Sexual abusers target and groom family members and/or caregivers and select victims that they perceive to be vulnerable, easy to deceive, and/or unlikely to be believed. Furthermore, abusers who target children and teens with disabilities are often connected to them through their disability. That is, they seek out employment or volunteer opportunities that place them in contact with children and teens with disabilities. This may help explain why children and teens with disabilities face an increased risk of experiencing sexual abuse in their lifetimes. Children and teens with disabilities are more vulnerable in part because often, as a side effect of providing support and accommodations for your child's needs, you are also providing a comparatively large number of adults with access to your child, an opportunity that abusers may exploit. That is not to say that you should not provide support and accommodation, rather that you should take care to identify and mitigate any potential risks. For example, if your child needs personal private care, ensure that your child's care provider has been effectively screened and is adequately supervised. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Remember to stay safe out there, and I'll see you soon.